I do love being out in nature. It's just so wonderful to commune with nature whenever we get the chance, whether it's a walk in a park or if you are lucky enough to have a beautiful garden. This is not my garden, but it is a really, really beautiful one where I was away on a little break recently. So this video is going to contain a few stretches, so I'd invite you to get yourself into a nice comfortable position, maybe just with a slightly wide stance, just shake it off a little bit. I'm not a yoga teacher, but I am an ex-professional dancer, and I just do regular stretches, and I know many of you have asked if I can do some stretch videos and some videos that you can follow along to. So I hope that you will join me. Some great yoga videos are Yoga with Adrienne, and there's also Fight Master Yoga, 2 recommendations from me to you. Now, if you stand with your legs slightly relaxed to begin with, and we're going to just allow the arms to float up to either side until they get right up to the top, and allow them to come down again. I like to take a deep breath in as the arms are floating up, imagining that the air is just allowing the arms to lift. And as you breathe out, allow the arms to cascade back down. So in and breathe out. And I find that the stretches are not just good for your body. For me personally, I find that it's just in the taking of time for ourselves that can make a big difference to our well-being. And so I just like to do a few simple stretches every day. So now we just shake it off a little bit. And next we're going to work on the shoulders just to warm them up. So we're going to move the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. So I'll just show you forward and up and back and down. And then by doing that, we're going to smooth it into a nice rolling action. So the shoulders are going to roll forward, up, back, and down. Just rolling them up and back. And as you're doing this, try not to carry any other tension in any other parts of the body. Just allow that lovely movement just to kind of grease the cogs of your joints. And now let's take it the other way. So we bring it back. So shoulders go back, up, forward, and down. And then obviously, as you smooth one movement into the next, it's a roll back, up, forward, down. And I find it's quite nice to coordinate your breathing with the movement. So for me, I find that as I'm starting the movement, I like that to be the breath in, and then as I'm finishing the movement, out. So this would be my out breath. Now you're going to take your hands, pop your fingers onto your shoulders, and now make circles with your elbows. So first of all, we're coming inwards to the center and up and down. And that's how I would breathe. Doing these, breathing in and up, down and out. And now we'll just shake that out a little bit before going in the reverse direction. So now you're bringing the elbows back and up and forward and down. And just getting the joints nice and juicy, nice and warmed up. And it's such a good feeling. Just very simple movements. Nice shaking out of the limbs there. Now, head looks from side to side. So we're just going to look from side and center and side and center. So this doesn't have to be a big movement. It's just warming the neck up and just giving yourself just a little bit of a stretch, and try not to move the rest of your body while you're doing this. It's about isolating the different areas. And now we're going to move up with the head, center, and look down and back up. So as you look up, try not to crunch the neck. When you look down, you'll be able to bend the neck a lot more moving down than moving up. So when you're looking up, it's just looking up really. It's rather than trying to flex your head backwards too far, because that's not very good for the neck. And down and up, and give yourself another little shake. And if you're like me, maybe you'll want to rearrange your hair a little bit. Now, if you raise one arm in the air and bring your hand to rest upon the side of the head, the other arm straight down, but raising the fingers up so they're at a parallel to the floor. Just be aware that that arm with the hand parallel to the floor, the shoulder is pushed downwards so that you're really getting the stretch. Then we'll do the opposite. So we take the other arm to the ear on the side of the head, remembering to push the other shoulder down because it may want to just come up a little bit. So lovely with the breeze, just those lovely leaves just splaying around. And just give yourself another little shake out a bit. Now bring up one arm in the air, and then you can stand together, or you can stand with one leg. You can push your hips out to the side to really feel the stretch. And if you want to stretch even more, then you can do a little curtsy leg behind. And your other hand is holding on to the raised hand and just gently giving it a little pull off to the side. And then we'll do the same in the other direction. So now the other arm in the air, and you just gently hold the wrist, and as you lean over, you can either do it with feet together, or I like to do the little curtsy and push my hip the opposite way to the direction of my hands. And it just feels such a lovely stretch. You can really feel it. So good for the joints, for the body, to just get that little bit of gentle movement into the day. Next, take one arm, bring it across the body in a straight line, and then the other arm is going to act as a hinge at the elbow to fold in the outstretched arm. And just be aware of the shoulder of the arm that's across the body, that it's not raising up. And now we'll do it to the other side. So allow the arm to go across the body, and then the other arm, remembering that shoulder, the other arm can hinge in and gently pull a little bit more, and bringing that shoulder down and moving the arm across the body. You should feel that stretch in all the right places. It's really, really lovely, just to allow a little release. And next, now you place your arm up in the air, and then your hand is going to reach down between the shoulder blades, and the other hand is going to gently allow some weight on the top of the elbow that is in the air. So you can see there, don't push anything too far, and allow the shoulders to be more towards the back. Allow them to be pushed back. You don't want to be hunched and crunched. And lift the chin up so that you're not hunching into a little ball, because it can be very tempting to do that in this position. Then release the arms, give a little shake. And now the other arm goes up in the air. The hand is aiming to touch between the shoulder blades, and the other hand, remember the shoulders back, chin up, and then the other hand rests on that elbow and can just give it a little bit of gentle pressure to allow a further stretch. That should feel really good. Now next we're going to clasp the hands together, interlaced, and then what we're going to do is push back the shoulders, allow the knuckles to aim towards the floor. And as you do that, the shoulders and the chest will naturally open up. And then just lift the head slightly so you're looking up. And that should give you a really good stretch, really opening out the shoulders there. Then a nice little bit of looseness afterwards. Now this next part, you may need to have a chair or something to lean on. We're going to be doing some work on the ankles. So you might need a chair, a wall. You could put your hands on your hips, or you could have your hands down. And then we're just going to take one ankle in one direction. So you're rolling the foot in a little circle and then in the other direction. So it's just nicely easing up that ankle joint. And remember, it's okay to lean on the back of a sofa, on a chair, on somebody. Now the other leg circling in one direction. And then in the other direction. Such a beautiful day. Just the right amount of breeze and a bit of sunshine. Absolutely beautiful. Now next, we're not going to do a deep lunge. This is just a gentle lunge. So one leg goes in front and the knee is bent, but try and keep your body straight as though it's between two panes of glass. So you don't want to be leaning forwards or backwards. And then the back leg, straighten that enough that the heel is going towards the floor, and you should feel a nice stretch up the back of the leg. Now I'll turn around and do it to the other side. So your knee, you don't want it going forward beyond the toes, and the back leg straightening up, and the heel just headed towards the ground or the floor. Try and remember to bring your shoulders back so that you're not hunching, and just lean into that a little bit. And now we're going to just put your leg, one leg forward, one back, and then we're leaning forward with this time the leg that you're leaning forward onto, you're straightening your leg, keep your back nice and straight as well, and lifting the toes up, and you should get a lovely stretch. You can rest your hands, depending on how flexible you are, rest your hands on your shin or your thigh, not on your knee. And then we'll do it to the other side. So forward leg is straight, the toes come up towards the face, the back leg is bent, offering you some support, and you can allow your hands to rest on your thigh or your shin, and you just keep your back in a nice straight line. And again, remember that you can lean on a support for this. We're going to work on stretching those quad muscles out. I always enjoy these ones. I think they feel really nice. But you can always just stand up like I'm doing here. And this is the movement, grabbing the top of the foot and then bringing it up so that the knee is pointed pretty much straight down. So you don't want that knee popping forward. Now what's happening here, this is a behind the scenes for you. You can jog on the spot if you want to. I had terrible cramp when I filmed this in both of my feet. But now you can see I've lifted up that foot so that it's being pulled in towards my bum and allowing the knee to point straight down as much as possible, because that will really allow you to get a good stretch. And there, I can remember very well how painful the cramp was in my foot. So you will see me doing the old dance from one leg to the other a bit here. But here you can see I've moved to the other side, and I'm just pulling in that leg, trying to keep the back nice and straight in these positions. Keep a good posture. And really feel that stretch on the quads. You might even feel it in the hip as well. Now, this is the point where I'm doing the cramp dance. I had to say that very carefully. Now, we're just going to open up the hip a bit by lifting the knee. The knee comes up and comes out to the side. So you're keeping your body as still as possible, and it's just your knee which is driving the movement. So it circles outwards. So lift the knee up and around and down, up and down, up and down. And you can choose to have your arms out to the sides. It might give you a little bit more balance. Or of course you can lean on a friend, lean on a chair, lean on the back of a sofa, a wall, whatever helps you. We've moved to the other side now. So lifting that knee up and out and down. I like to breathe at the same time. So sometimes I choose a longer breath. I might want to breathe for the whole movement, breathe in for the whole movement, and then breathe out for the next movement. And you can step from foot to foot. Sometimes when you balance on one leg, you can find that you get cramp, which is what happened to me. So now we're doing the reverse movement. So we're bringing that leg up to the side and then into the front, keeping your body facing front at the same time. There we are, moving in. And now we'll go to the other side. So here you could be taking a breath for the whole movement. And then out for the next movement. Or you could just be in, out. But I quite like long, slow breaths, especially if you're doing this stretch in the morning and you're easing yourself into the morning, or maybe you're easing yourself out of your day. Now we're going to lift the knee up. You can lift it up. I was showing you different heights. So even if you can only lift it a little bit, that's fine. But what we're aiming to do is just lift it as high as you can. Here I'm pulling it into my chest as far as I can. So there is fine, even with the feet on the floor. Just there is great. There is fine as well. Or if you want to bring it in and give it a little squeeze while you're balancing on the other leg. The great thing is when your mind is thinking about lots of different things at once, in terms of your body, about keeping the upper body straight, pulling your leg into you, all these things, it really helps with mindfulness. Now, here we're going to do a plie. So we're standing with the legs out towards both outer corners of the mat, as you can see there. And you can just bend down and then power yourself back up. And we can put some arms in as well. I always find that even if I'm not feeling particularly graceful, just by doing some of these gentle movements with the arms, one, it gives me something else to think about, but two, it makes me feel as though I've got a bit of grace. And I find with this one, it's nice to breathe in as you go up and out as you come back down. And there's that cheeky cramp again in my toes. But you can always take that opportunity. Breathe in, up. And as we breathe out now, we're just going to float your body down towards the floor. Now, it doesn't matter if you only come a short way. Doesn't matter if your hands touch your feet or the floor. That's absolutely fine. Maybe you're just down to your shins. That's okay. Breathe in and up. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to come forward any amount that feels okay to you. Now, because my hands do reach the floor, I don't want them to stop me getting the stretch even further. So I've just embraced my hands around each elbow. And that allows the weight of my body just to drop forward. Now we're going to roll up gently through each vertebra. I don't know. Is it bra or bray? Who knows? And there's the cheeky little cramp dance. And just getting that tension out of my toes, or trying to. So now we're going to stand with the legs wide once again. And this time, breathe in and up. And then as you come down, come all the way down. And have your hands as wide as you can this time. So they're reaching out to the feet. And you're just getting that nice stretch before rolling up gently, and roll those shoulders back as you come down. Now we're going to do a different move. So your arms are out to a T, then we reach forward. And then as you bring one hand down to crossing over to the other foot, then the upper hand, the upper arm, can just gently wrap around the back if that's comfortable to you. Or you could put both hands down towards your foot, and then we'll bring ourselves back up, really stretching out, and then straightening, resetting, and then across to the corner, and then allow yourself to drape over the upper arm, draped over the body there. Nice twist. You should be feeling a good twist in the body, just nice and gentle. Don't do anything that isn't comfortable for you. Just a nice twist is a really good little challenge. And then we come back up and arms out to the side. And then coming back up to the center. You'll always know what I'm doing now if I do this, won't you? Bringing the knees up a little bit here. Just trying to work out the toes a bit before coming to a seated position. And as you come to a seat, put the soles of the feet together. I'm going to turn to the side just to show you. So this is what we want, a nice straight back for the first part of this. So you can do that by putting your hands onto your ankles, and by gently pulling forward with your hands, you can actually pull your body forward. And it doesn't matter if you're only bending over just an inch or two, but by keeping the back straight, you're stretching out different muscles than you would if you leaned your body all the way forward. So now what we're going to do is do the curve of the spine. And this feels really lovely because it just allows gravity to do its thing. So we'll just be curving over our feet. And you don't have to get your feet really tight in either. So as you can see here, I'm just allowing gravity to drape my spine over my body. They almost look like waving hands in the background, those wonderful leaves and branches that are so willowy and billowy. They're beautiful, a weeping willow. Next, sitting cross-legged, and then you bring across one arm to the opposite knee. The other arm is going to go up in the air. Try and bring your shoulder back. So you don't want to be hunched over. And then lean back with the support being in the hand on the knee. And you can just look up towards your hand. And you should get a really nice stretch there down the side of the body. Very good. Now the other side. So now the opposite hand to the opposite knee, then the other hand goes up, not forwards, not across, but straight up, and then leaning backwards and looking up at that hand as you feel the support by holding on to the opposite knee. That should feel really good. Wonderful stretch. And now, if you bring one of your hands round behind you and the other hand is going to the opposite knee, if you can reach the floor behind you, you can gently push and gently just allow the slightest bit of pressure on your hand on your knee, just to twist your body ever so slightly. Never force any of these things. Now we're swapping sides. So the hand goes behind and then the opposite hand to the opposite knee, and just twist round as though you want to look at whatever's behind you, but you don't have to force it. Just push until you get a gentle squeeze, a gentle stretch. Now at this point, I'm going to just allow the legs to be straight out in front and the toes stretching up and back towards the face. Now here we're leaning forward. You may not be able to touch your toes, and that's absolutely fine. I haven't always been able to either, but if you can, I quite like to put my hands over my toes and just allow that to bring in a little bit of a bit of an extra stretch. And now you can bend over with a lovely curve in the spine. Now you may be able to hear my cats in the background. There isn't a corner of my house I can go to where there's not a cat meowing somewhere. So I think we've done very well so far. But I'll carry on. He's all right, by the way. He just wants more biscuits. Now we go on to the hands and knees. And just allow your belly to drop down. And you curve the spine and the head goes up, and then do the opposite. So you arch the spine, the tummy pulls in towards the spine, you tuck the tail under, and you can choose to tuck your toes under or have your feet flat onto your mat or the floor or wherever you are, the ground, but really stretching up through the spine and then bringing your tummy up to tuck into the spine. And as I do that, I like to breathe in as I do this one, and then out, all the breath out as the tummy tucks in. Beautiful. Such a good feeling, this one. Really stretching up the spine, giving it some love, allowing it to have just a lovely little bit of movement. And now just widening the knees a little bit. And allow your bottom to go back towards your feet. It doesn't matter if you can't get into this position. It's not something that everyone can do straight away. But this is called child's pose in yoga. And it's a lovely restful position. And here you get a really good stretch through the shoulders as well. So now if you bring yourself up to a seated position, but with your knees bent, feet on the floor, and now hold the tummy in as we lower back down all the way to the ground. And now just enjoy stretching out for a moment. And then bring your knees up to center. And now we'll bring them over to one side. And then if you allow your head to look in the opposite direction, if it's comfortable for you, and if you allow that arm to be pointing in the same direction as you're looking, then that's a lovely stretch. And as we switch sides, you can see that you can have your hand on your knees just to gently ease them down into that stretch, and try and keep your shoulders as stretched back as you can. And now, if you allow your knees to fall open with the soles of the feet together, this is going to be really nice for those hips. Just nice, allowing that gravity just to let them fall open. It doesn't matter if you can get your feet up close or further out. It doesn't really matter. What's important here is that lovely act of gravity on your hip flexors, just allowing a little bit of ease. And as you breathe in and out, just visualize all of your muscles just easing, feeling very nice and easy. And now, if you stretch your legs out long, stretch your arms out, start to make some movements in the wrists and the ankles, and just really enjoy that feeling. And now we can relax for a few minutes, as long as you find the sound of my cat relaxing. He's very noisy, but I promise he's okay. While you're in this position, just acknowledge yourself for taking the time for you, and acknowledge that sometimes doing very little is actually a really great thing. It is time well spent. Sometimes we think we have to do something with every minute of every day, or we have to have a plan. But actually, this is really good for the spirit, just taking time for you. Now, I'm not sure if you've spotted the rain, but this weeping willow was acting as a wonderful natural umbrella to me. But I was very aware that the camera equipment was starting to get rained on. So I've come up to a seated position. But of course, if you want to lie here for a bit longer, and just enjoy the peace and the calm, then please do feel free to do that. Thank you. I really always appreciate you spending your time with me. I appreciate all of you who who subscribe to the channel, and and when you comment as well. It's just really lovely. So I think, yes, I shall leave it there for now. But I hope this has been useful to you. And I will do some more videos like this for you if that's what you'd like to see. And I'm learning as I go. So I'd like to thank you once again for spending the time with me. And I'll see you soon.